after when our exam is end, then I will try to do some other way to improve my communication skill. Hi, Pratyush. Hi, after a long time we meet. Aj- Hi, Pratyush. So I am fine. And how are you? Am I audible? I hope. I am fine, Pratyush. And what about you? Yeah, as I missed one day. As I missed one day means yesterday I was not able to do my session, so I was planning to one extra. I am planning to do one extra chapter today so that I can cover our book at on time. What we will be doing tonight. Just oh, as a punishment. Right now we are practicing high jump with my few friends, and as I am long, that's why I've been. But for as per punishment, I will do 2 minute hand head stand. Means I will speak. Yeah, sure, sure. You can give me one topic. Yeah, please give me some easy topic so that I can speak. Okay. Okay. Topic. Student. Student's career. Professionalism in a student's career. Yeah, I'm not getting that. Uh, mm, okay, I will try. If, it's okay. I will. AI phone and by. So as I AI phone. So should I start? As I am not well prepared, but yeah, I will try. Yeah. Uh, Thanks. As the techno as the technology in improving in our day-to-day world, that's now AI is involved in all those technology, and AI is helping in all the tasks so that we can do easily all the tasks with artificial intelligence. So in that, as I'm okay, I will try. No. Please, again, I am trying to just wait. I'm starting from. I'm going to start again. So, AI AI stands for artificial intelligence. Yeah, AI stands for artificial intelligence. It is the term which define us that the work can be done by the machines in automatic way as the technology involving in the worlds and technology connect including integrating with the in all those fields. As we are in civil engineering, we can see that work can be done by the artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence, that's many things comes like machine learning, deep learning. So as we see in the point of view as engineer point of view, we can see that's the all projects to analyzing the works, old works, and what can be the new future of that's the project. So we can predict the future and analyze from old data. That can be done through AI and AI. And as this is the help, means it's so boon of AI, means pros of AI. And if you talk of cons of AI, cons of AI, like AI is expanding too much, so people are using AI is improving day by day, and AI is free to all the world. So people have always two options to use anything in good way and bad way, but people are also using that things in bad way. So they are using like means mimicking some great people, and some making some videos that's hurts the people, and um, what we can say, the privacy disturbs that people's, that celebrities and other political uh, parties and political person. That is the cons of AI at that moment. But after a while we will use rat means after a while we will ensure that AI is used only for the right way. Okay, how about I suggest you to do some hack that I followed? Yeah, actually, I'm making the path after actually our exam is going on, so that I'm thinking to do some other tasks, just like means one topic. I will choose one topic, then I will firstly I will use ChatGPT to just make a means paragraphs, so I can just analyze all those things. After a while, after practicing for few days, few months, then I will just uh, give some topics, random topics from anywhere, and I will start speaking on that. So right now I'm just reading the books, so I can be consistent to improving my communication skill on my this skills. So that's why I am trying to be consistent in this field. After a while I will do that type of works like topics. I will use I will first I will choose one topic, then I will search on chat gpt and all those software. Then I will read all those things and try to memorize or try to understand those uh, points, and then I will try to speak. And read a particular about. Yeah, sure. I will take care of those things. Just yeah, I will use some trending topics. That will be help. That's help me more. As in every field, if I go for an interview or any normal interview, there is this type of thing. Yes, thank you, Pratyush. Yeah, surely after in few days, just before my exam will end, I will finish this book, and then I will do all those things. Just stop it. Bye. Thank you, Pratyush. Yeah, thank you. So this is a brainstorming session for me. As the Pratyush come, so I have to improve myself more so that I can be a good speaker and I can think immediately. So as I'm not prepared for that as well, but I will try to. Actually, our main purpose to be prepared like that. So I will prepare in future, not in future, in just 1 or 2 weeks. So reached 17th chapter, and today I will finish one more extra chapter. Then this is only 23 chapters. I will finish as soon as possible. Then I will switch to those. Every day I will select one topic, random, not random, hot topics, trending topics like AI, machine learning, and anything that can be helpful. I will ask from my friends like Pratyush, Rahul, Sumit, Ayush, and others, so that I can prepare more well. And if it is possible, I will connect to our seniors so that they can give me such a good topics. So it's a great session with Pratyush. So as I am reading the book, life is what you make it. I will try to speak from my background. This is a love story book where we have no one girls named Ankita. She is facing many issues like us, just young girls from doing graduation after while doing masters, not master but yeah, MBA, master's course, management course. So as in her lap, many boys comes and their fathers know, and then he is facing some mental issues. Their parents take her to therapist and checking this, uh, diagnosis, all those things. And now it's time to uh, read chapter number 17. The light goes out. I got previously worse. I got previously worse. The medication which the doctor had prescribed did not seem to help the least bit. My parents were convinced it would work and a cure was just around the corner. Sadly, the elusive. Sadly, it was like elusive lottery that hopefuls keep buying keeps after week by week after week in anticipation of a jackpot, but they were as unaware of failure as I was. The tablet were to be taken twice a day. There was a little yellow ones. There was a little yellow one and a slightly larger white one. I had no idea what they were for and what they were called, but my parents had pinned their hopes and their inspiration for me on those two little tablets, which held the promise for miraculously, or rather medically, turning my lap around. Sorry, guys, literally sorry. I haven't shared my screen till now. Each morning, my dad stood at the foot. Nah, one second, guys. One of my friend. Yeah. हाँ, कितना बजे? कितना बजे? तुम बोलो तुम कितना बजे तक बोलो हम अलार्म लगा के उठ जाएंगे। अलार्म लगा के उठ जाएंगे। तो पूरे समय चलेंगे जल्दी से फिर सो जाएंगे एक बार। हाँ तो ठीक है। हाँ निकालना वही करेंगे। ठीक है। अब दौड़ने जाएंगे। दौड़ने जाएगा। ठीक है। कल दौड़ने जाएगा कि नहीं? कल कहाँ जाएगा दौड़ने? परफेक्ट होते कल से तो जल्दी से जाएंगे उसके बाद परफेक्ट जाएंगे कल स्कीपिंग करना क्लास भी ना 6 बजे से पहले निकलेंगे उधर का फिर निकाल के हम फ्रेश हो जाते हैं हमको घूमना पड़ेगा निकाले कहाँ है गेट खुला रहेगा गेट खुला रहेगा हाँ हाँ रख देंगे ना ये काम रहेगा नहीं होगा तो हम मैसेज कर देंगे जो हम बता देंगे Guys, one of my friends comes for he was inviting me for morning walk. Each morning, my dad stood at the foot of my bed with the tablet in hand and a glass of water. Almost every day, the same story repeated itself. Dad, I really don't want to take this. They makes me drowsy. I would say, Ankita, your body and mind both need rest. If you don't take the medicine, how will you get better? This is not this is only temporary. Now be a good girl and take it. He would coax patiently. I would then swallow both at once and he would be pleased. I felt a little bit like a prisoner, but the only place that I was trapped in was inside my own mind. The worst thing was that there was no escape. The medication made me drowsy. I slept when I felt like and woke up when I felt like it. What was truly terrifying was the blankness. There were simply no thoughts inside my head. It was it was all a blank. It was an endless vacuum, a huge void. Earlier, I had sought refuge in the magnificent image that I could conjure up without an effort. I could write I could write what I felt. I could pour my emotion and my feelings into words. I had my poetry and my pictures and words. But this terrible and completely strange state that I found myself in was something that I just could not bear. The agony of it, the agony of it made me want to weep and wail out my sorrow, but even grief eluded me. I was numb and senseless. I ached to feel something. I ached to feel pain. I ached to cry. I ached to think. I aged and aged. The the age, the age was a constant companion, like a shadow. There was no getting rid of it. It, it, it never went away at the moment I opened my eyes. It was there, prodding me, hurting me, taunting me, and mocking me. I wanted to run away from it. I wanted a respite. I wanted to escape. I just wanted to be able to feel once more. Night and days merged into one another. I could not bear the light and would draw the curtain of my room and shut the window. If my parents, as much as I tried to open it, even a teeny bit, I would scream asking them to let it be. I was beginning to develop an affinity towards anything that was dark. During the working hours, it was as pure agony, 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 agony to just remain alive. The pain was terrifying. Everything that was once attractive and attractive now appeared drab. What had come easily at one point in time took a massive effort now. It was a huge ordeal to even wake up and get out of bed. I preferred lying in the dark, with the darkness of my mind and the blackness of her company. I wanted to felt left alone. If my parents tried to sit with me, I would get agitated. I want to be left alone. If my parents tried to sit with me, I would get agitated and angry and tell them to go away and left me be in a peace. They, do, they did not know they did not know what to do and hence most of the time left me alone. Only, only coming in to see that I had my tablets. I I looked at the book nearly of my desk on my desk and felt sick. Whatever it was, the medication or my state of mind, I don't know. But I went to the tailor and threw up violently. I had no idea of the time of the day. It was always dark in my room. Anyway, I sat for what seemed like hours next to the toilet wall, throwing up every now and then. Finally, too exhausted even to stand, I quickly up and slept off on the bathroom floor. I must have been a sat with this and slept on the bathroom floor. I must have been a sat with disheveled hair, bloodshot eyes, and dried vomit taking my mouth. A bit of it on my clothes too. I was woken up by my mother. Oh God, get up, get up. She was shaking me, holding my shoulder. How long have you been lying here? I opened my eyes with a great effort. The light stung them and I scrunched scrunched up my eyes to avoid the sharp light that was piercing, 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 piercing them like sharp needles. I had no idea of them. I had probably slept the whole night on the bathroom floor. I felt sicker than even before, but my stomach was empty, and there was nothing more. I could be, I could throw up. The bitter retching continued to rack my body even as I tried to control it. Wash your face and rinse your mouth. You will feel better, said my mother. I did I did as I told and went and lay down in the I did as I was told and went and lay down in my room again. I felt uh, I felt completely useless. Even little things seems impossible to do now. I felt stupid, dumb, and totally inadequate. All I seemed to be able to do was to lie in my bed from morning to night. It was the only thing that I was capable of doing. It was a thought. It was as though the light that was inside me had gone out. It was dark hole, and I had no idea when it would end. Sant Agnes and everything that had happened, there seemed a distant dream. Even my getting admission into the management institute seemed like something that had happened to someone else. I did not know, I did not feel like the same person anymore. I could not come to terms with it. To be trapped like this in one's own body is a far worse than a death. With death, at least there is an end. Here, the suffering is endless. You cannot run from yourself. The torment is bestial. I constantly felt as though somebody was tearing out my heart from the ribcage, severing the arteries, yanking it out, tossing it aside, and then stomping over it, squelching it under heavy feet. All I could do was watch helplessly. I felt this day in and day out. Every walking hour was a cruel reminder of what I had once been. I was in a worse state than before, and my parents took me back to see Dr. Mukta. I accompanied them without a push. She wanted to talk to me alone like before. Looking at her now, I felt frightened. I felt like a rat, felt like a rat, 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 rat. That they use in scientific experiment. The rage I felt towards her earliest was now replaced by naked fear. My hands were trembling when I faced her. They were cold and I clutched them hard, rolling my palms into a fist. I felt like an injured animal and wanted to hide in the safety and darkness of my room. Here in her clinic, with her cold eyes studying her in here in her clinic with her cold eyes every cold eyes studying my every move. I felt disrobed and vulnerable. I wanted to scream, but I was too be terrified to even let out a whimper. And how are you now, Gita? She asked brightly in her falsetto professional voice. I could not answer. Medicine working well. She asked. I felt like there was a monkey too in her tone. Medicine working well, she asked. I felt like there was monkey too in her tone. I clenched my fist tighter, my heartbeat increased. There was cold sweat beginning to trickle down my armpits beneath my clothes. I could not meet her eyes. I looked down and looked away. Finally, tried tired of perhaps tired of my unresponsiveness, she called my parents in. It may seem as though the medicine are not taking effects, but trust me, this is how it's supposed to proceed, she said. These were words my parents wanted to hear. She is sleeping better than before, and the rest, restlessness is so much under control, she said. But I feel dead inside. Don't you realize you are killing me bit, bit by bit? My parents looked eagerly, lapping up every word, taking comforts in her assurance. There is no more medicine. I would like to introduce her to this week. It will be help her mind to focus as it will bring her serotonin level back to normal. She said smoothly and wrote out a new prescription with a practice flourish. Is this is this is this in addition to the one she is taking? Asked my dad. Yes, she replied. The one she is taking is just mild relaxant, which was to calm her down. This is the real treatment. You will be see the difference. I will see you after 2 more weeks. Sorry, guys. I will see you after 2 more weeks. I was I was too helpless, totally helpless. I did not want to more medication. I wanted to my poems back. I wanted my pictures back. They were the only hope I had, and they had vanished. But I had no choice in the matters. The new medicine left a strange kind of dryness in my throat that seems to be actually scratching it from inside. It made me very uncomfortable. It I felt an odd kind of restless, 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 restlessness. I felt an odd kind of restlessness, restlessness. restlessness, restlessness. I felt like throwing I felt like throwing up all the time, but it was only retching and not nothing came out. Retching and nothing came out. When I slept, I suddenly wake up, it's cold sweat, breathing hard. I felt like I had been pushed into a living hell. I sat at my desk, staring at my books. I looked at the Kotler's book, which was on top of the pile of books neatly arranged. At one time I had revealed in it at one time I had at, at one time I had revealed it contents greedily devouring it. I opened it again, hoping to be comforted by familiar word, and perhaps I felt that the earlier inability to read and absorb would now have vanished, and it would all come back easily to me. I was I was wrong. When I opened it and tried to read, frustration, panic, and rage gripped me once again. I was just the same as before. Nothing had changed. In blind anger, I once again grabbed the reading light and sent it flying across the room. I threw the Kotler book against the wall and it fell with a heavy thud. Then I smashed the creamy cup and then I smashed the creamy cup that had pen and pencil onto the ground. The cup shatters and the pen scattered in all directions. Then a fury I began tearing up the notes I had meticulously made. I was I was I was breathing hard and then there were tears running down my face. The commotion made my parents come running. I stopped dead in my track when I realized that they were watching me in shock, not knowing what to do. Gus expressing rage like this was not something that was easily accepted in Indian society. They did not know what to do or how to deal with it. It was too slightly shocked with my violent reaction. Later, it was too slightly shocked with my violent reaction. Later, when I went to the bathroom, I happened to catch sight of my full length reflection and got a jolt. Gone was the pencil thin me. I did not recognize the apparition that was giving me a starlit look from the mirror. I had gained so much weight in all the time that I had stayed home, just lying in bed. In place of my eyes were threatened slat that gazed back to me. My cheeks are puffed up. I had been developed a pot belly. My hair was disheveled disheveled and naughty. I did not remember when I had combed it last. My skin had taken on my unhealthy shade and pale yellow like someone applicated with Jordans. My ordeals were far from over. I had to meet Dr. Mukta again. I had to meet Dr. Mukta again the following week with my parents. She then said to continue with the same medicine but adjusted the dose and made it higher dose. It was the variable last straw that broke the camel's back. I was already broken, but that crushed my completely and totally. The biggest irony was that everybody felt that I was indeed getting better and would soon resume my classes. But nobody had a clue what was really happening. On the outside, I looked like that, and inside, I felt like it. I was tired of it all. I wanted to end. There was only one way out of this mystery. It was my only escape. Quietly but determinedly, I made up my mind to take my own life. So without wasting time, now I'm going to start new chapter as I miss a study session. So the next chapter is uh, a plan for a final exit. Chapter number 18. It was so I need to take 2 seconds please. It was after 9 more weeks of misery, hopelessness, and excruciating agony that I finally gathered enough courage and attempt to kill myself the second time. My parents eventually figured out that Dr. Mukhtar's medication had not been effective and I had shown no sign of improving. They dragged me to a second psychiatrist, as supposedly one of the best in the whole country. He made Dr. Mukhtar seem like an angel. Appointment had to be made week in advance. He was one of the busiest secretaries in the country. I was told my parents I was told. My parents considered it fortunate that he had agreed to examine me. I felt no gratitude, no happiness. I was numb with the pain and the senseless of it. I was silent and refused to speak to either of my parents. When they asked me to accompany them, I went along quietly. His clinic was teeny, and despite being on time for the appointment, he had to wait for nearly an hour and 40 minutes before he could. So we have no next page, so we have to see normally. The teeny waiting room was cramped with a whole lot of people. I awaited their eyes and looked down at my feet while we waited. Dr. Kohli was bald, overweight, and had a French beard. He seems to be a smoker too, judging by the stench of tobacco in his little cabin, where he examined patients day in and day out. Did not even speak to me, and merely wrote out precision prescription for me. Prescrip- he did not even speak to me, merely wrote out prescription for me for more medication. He spoke to my parents as though I did not exist. Dr. Mukta had at least made an effort. However professional it was to at least attempt to find out how I was feeling. Dr. Colley seemed to think that such niceties were a waste time, especially when he had hundreds of patients clamoring for his attention, jostling for a space in that teeny clinic on the third floor of the old building with narrow, derelict stairs in a crowded Bombay suburb. Increasingly, Increasingly, as each day passed, I was convinced about the futility of my existence. I felt a mounting sense of despair, not only about my inability to do nothing remotely useful, but also about the stress and strain I was putting my parents through. They still believed I would get better and refused to give up on me. They saw to it that I took my medication that Dr. Kohli had prescribed dil- diligently. What he drug me with seemed to be thrice the amount of Dr. Mukta had given. I had perpetually like a zombie and had settled down into my new persona with ease. I had to try to fight. I tried to argue and tried to be protest. It was though I had accepted that this was my fate. I began avoiding all human contact. I did not want to run into anybody from my residential complex. I did not want to make conversation with anybody or explain why I was not going to college any anymore to anyone. And I lived in constant terror of meeting people, of facing people. I did not want to anyone to see me in this state. I was overweight, ugly, and drab. I was no longer what I used to be and could not stand myself. My sense of humor and my quick wit had vanished completely. I could not even make a small conversation anymore. I was a burden not only on my parents but also on my own self. My existence was completely pointless. There was only one way out of this mess, and that was to end my own life. I had been contem- contempla- contemplating various methods of suicide quite clinically. I had thought about it for weeks. I thought of slashing my wrist and then submerging them in a bucket of water, which I would ensure that I boiled to death. In the movies, they usually do it in bathtubs, but our bathrooms had no bathtubs, and closest I could think of was a bucket of water, which would to be the trick. There were two reasons why I decided to against this method. It would be messy the next day. I also this was slow method. I was not sure if I would have the much of substance as to hold my hand under the water all the time till lap ebbed out. The other method that I the other method I considered was pouring kerosene all over myself and getting burned like the letters. But here too what terrified me was the chance of failure. I had seen photographs of people with a third degree burn. I felt the suffering would be unimaginable. I would cook from the inside. Also there was a risk of permanent disfigurement. Then I thought of hanging from the ceiling fan, which was the most common method used in movies. I could easily use my mother's sari, which was that what they did in the movies. But I was not sure if I would be able to make the loop correctly. Beside, Besides, I was not sure if I could go through with it. It involved too many parameters, all of which had to be worked for the it to be successfully. Then I then I also contemplate contemplated on my overdose of my medication. I knew that my medication was kept on top of refrigerator, and I had to do as shallow them all and then lie down in my bed and go. This was one appeal to me, but I was not sure if the tablet would be lethal enough. I was not sure of that effect it would have. I also was not sure whatever my body could take it all or whether I would throw it up. So I ruled out these options too. And finally, the only one which seemed most likely to work was jumping off the terrace of the building I lived. Death, Death would be certain and quick. I winced only for a moment when I pictured my body hitting the hard concrete. The momentum and impact that would crush my bones and perhaps skulls and make my heart cease working. I was sure that I would feel the pain only for a few seconds. I had read that if I one were to fall from height of 50 feet, I, I would be lethal. I would be jumping off the eighth floor before, therefore, I could be certain of death. It must have been around 11 in the night when I crept out quietly. I went up the terrace of my building. Usually, it was not locked as the maintenance people went to the terrace often for fixing television antennas. and tending to other problem like water tanks and plumbing lines. I went out the terrace. The cold night air hit me. I took I took in a deep breath. I looked at the night. I am a smooth only. I'm trying to speak completely from mouth, but I will try to try to speak from my diaphragm. I went out. I look at the night sky with a million twinkling stars. I remember my nights at the pressure party on another terrace in Bombay, where I was chasing Joseph, threatening to jump off. The irony of the situation struck me now. There, there was no Joseph now to tease me, and I only wanted to die now. I wanted to edge of the wall of the terrace and look down. They had the hard concrete pavement, 8 floor below stared at me as I draining to as I as if as if I as if daring me to jump. The car was parked in mid arrow in pre-designated parking slot. Beside them, I could see the treetops. I peered out little further and walked along the edge of the wall, choosing a spot to jump. I did not want to land in anyone's colony. I had to pick a stop where there were a balconies or no shaving a space of and any kind underneath. The best the best spot was where the toilets were located. There were only plumbing lines here that ran along the height of the wall. I stood at the spot and stared down. The night was eerily silent. Not a leaf stirred. Usually the night watchman made his rounds around the building, but I knew from my sleepless night that he would be begin his rounds only past midnight. I would be dead and gone by then. I climbed on the wall and sat looking down, gathering those final moments in my head. It was then that I heard the first voice. On Kerti, I really love you. Something other things that's running in my mind. I will explain what's running in my mind. Running in my mind. I stood at the spot and stared down. The night was clearly silent. Not a leaf stirred. Usually the night watchman made his round around the building, but I knew from my sleepless nights that he would begin his round only past midnight. I would be dead and gone by then. I climbed on the wall and sat looking down, gathering those final moments in my head. It was then that I heard the hushed voice. Oh, Kathy, Kathy, I really love you. All I am asking you to do is just think about what I have said a male voice. In my in my already confused head, it sounded to me exactly like Abhi's voice, and it was very similar to what Abhi had said to me. Stunned, I turned around. It was Sanchit, along with a girl. Remembered having met them when I had first moved to Bombay. Both lived in my building. They had taken shelter just next to my water tank. Sanchit's back was turned around. Sanchit's back was turned towards me. Karthi was facing him. His grandfather's word came back me again to haunt me. Never be little, love. Never be little love, he had said. As I distracted and continued staring at them transfixed. Ankita, oh my god, what in the world are you doing here? Suddenly, my dad's voice cuts through my thoughts, and the next moment I turned around and saw my dad. My dad's voice had altered Sanchit and Kriti too. and I saw them moving away quietly to other sides of the building, making their way behind of the water junks. I don't think they were aware that I had already spotted them. My dad was shocked. He had un- woken up with an uneasy feeling at that night, and when he come to my room, he had found it empty. It was almost as though he had he had a premonition, or maybe he had heard me when I had gone out of the door. He had then found the entrance door to our flat unlocked and had gone down a stair and asked the security guard if he'd, if he had seen me. When the guard had answered in the negative, my dad had come up to the terrace to look for me. I did not know what to say to him, but I am sure that he had understood my intention perfectly, looking at my pasty face and crumpled, defeated shoulders. I had never seen my dad cry, but that night I saw the tears of defeat and agony that he blinked back. I saw the sheer helplessness and anger at being able to do nothing for me on his face. He was such a strong man, a self-made man who had risen from the starkest of circumstance to carve out a lap and a career for himself. He had always given us the best of everything. But that night I saw him break, and it was because of me. He did not say a word to me. He did not shout at me or berate me. I wished he had. His word would his word would have been easier to bear than his silence. He did not say a word to me. He did not shout at me or berate me. I wished he had. His words would have been easier to bear than his silence. He took my hands in his and quietly led me down the stairs back into our apartment on the second floor. Sorry, Pa, I managed to finally say, choking, choking on my own words. It was the hardest apology. What are the things that I am not able? Apology, 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 apology I have ever made in my life. I truly meant it, but I had no more words left to convey its depth. This was the long chapter, and yeah, it's showing she was trying to do suicide, but she was not able to do. Stop. Okay, guys. So we are leaving now, and in my mind, what's going on? That is one of my friend is going to IIT Kanpur for uh, for participating in deadlifting, what's a bench press and all those things. So he's also say that if you want, means me, if I want, then I can go as a chess player, as a other games. So I'm searching for games. If any games that will fit for me, then I will surely go to IIT Kanpur. That's I have a great interest in visiting IITs. Surely I will try. So that's the punishment I have not attempt, as we haven't do session. So I'm going to do some punishment. 2 minutes. head extensions. My leg will up and my head will be down. So yes, give me a 2 minutes. Okay, gentlemen. So 2 minutes. Okay, and see. Do you participate? Oh. It's good time. So I hope 2 minutes is complete. Again, I think what else it else else it else. Oh, but, oh, oh, guys, from next time I'm not going to leave any sessions. It's hard. My face is red. If you can see, but it's the first time when I do more than 50, more than 30 to 40 seconds headstand, half headstand. That's a great session. Oh, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you, Pratyush, for helping me and sure as being your kind of a student, your friend. I will, uh, I will prove you. Not prove, but yeah, I will be good. I will improve myself, and one day I will also speak in English. As our big dream is big, so surely. So okay, guys. Bye. Good night. See you next day. 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 Okay. Bye.